All right, everybody, welcome into Pugs and Parker present the Pillow Pundits here on Radio Misfits Podcast Network. I am, of course, Pugs Moran, and this is the fellow Pillow Pundit. It is Parker. Hey, how you like the new name? We coined the new name during the High Noon edition today.
What is it? The Pug? It's not Pugs and Parker?
Byron gets it. Look at it, Byron. It's Pugs and Parker present the Pillow Pundits on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network.
Nice alliteration.
Pugs and Parker present well, because, it was pillow talk, and I just thought, actually, I'll be honest with you. The first draft had Pugs and Parker present the Pillow Pals. And then
Pals, no.
It had a little too much, as Leslie pointed out, a little too much man-on-man energy. There's a little bit too much of, So I decided, Pillow Pundits, huh? Look at us. Like, maybe you're laying on a pillow right now, and maybe we're your pundits.
How did you know? Yeah.
Just what I thought. All right, this is the first of two streams that I, Pugs Moran, do each and every day. The first one is called High Noon. Come join me, won't you? We do it at noon Central Standard Time each and every day. We like to run through all the different topics that are happening, whether it's trending or whether it's a headline or whether it's just something that's breaking. We cover it. We get y'all prepped up for the day ahead. My great fear for you, the great unwashed, is that you're going to be out there and somebody's going to come up to you and go, hey, did you hear about? Well, if you listen to the High Noon edition every day at noon, you'll never be caught in the crosshairs of that guy. You'll always be able to go, why, in fact, sir, I did hear about that because I listened to Pugs Moran's High Noon stream every day at noon right here on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. Now, we also I come back, do a couple of hours, come back, and we do this, which we are now calling Pugs and Parker Present the Pillow Pundits. Boy, that rolls so well. Love the new. John loves the new name. He loves it.
Does it look good in a logo? What would our logo be? Because we can't do all those initials, right? And just
I don't know. I don't know. What is it? 5 P's. Pugs and Parker present the Pillow Pundits. 5 P's. Five. A P5. Yeah, the tickets got their P1s. We'll have our P5s. Like it.
I think it should be 5P.
5P? 5. I don't care. I'm so proud of the Pugs and Parker present the Pillow Pundits alliteration and how well that rolls. I'm going to leave the rest of it up to you. I think that you, as the Parker and the Pugs and Parker of the Pillow Pundit people, I think that you should, feel free to dress this any way you want. I've done the heavy lifting.
Right. All right. Pugs and Parker present the Pillow Pundits.
It's going to take a little bit of work before you can get down. Pugs and Parker proudly present the Pillow Pundits. And you, the fine people, the P5 people. Pugs and Parker present the Pillow. Pugs and Parker proudly present the Pillow Pundits to you, the proud P5s.
Well, no, that would be 6. P6.
P6.
You added proudly.
Oh, P6. Oh, well, P6 is good. Pugs and Parker proudly present the Pillow Pundits to you people, the P6s. I like it. It'll work. Hey, so I got some bad news. You, James, it's rare that I get to be the guy who's been in Texas longer since you were born and raised in Texas, but you just moved back a couple of months ago, and I moved back a couple of months before that. So, if we're going to wipe the slate clean, you're the carpetbagger, and I'm the true Texan. Are you looking forward to the weather? Oh, shut up. Don't roll your eyes at me on that. How dare you? Just let me. I'm on a roll. He's on a roll. Are you prepared for the weather, my fellow Pillow Pundit?
So I have a corner store, like where my little neighborhood spills out into the nearest highway. There's a Valero gas station.
Can I stop you right there and just say that you just stole back the mantle of the true Texan because you called it a corner store. You called it a corner store. That's a Texas thing.
Okay.
I'd call it a convenience store or a bodega,
okay.
but you called it a corner store.
Corner store. So it's on the corner. And they sell firewood at this corner store. And I told the guy at the counter, I said, how much for a bundle? He's like, $6.99. I was like, I'll take it. He goes, how many? I said, all of them. So I bought 13 bundles. Comes out at right about $100. And got a ton of firewood in my garage because I do have a fireplace, and so that's like plan B.
So you're ready.
Sort of.
Sort of. Well, don't know how ready we are here in swanky 1%er Highland Park, Texas. As I reported on Twitter a couple of hours ago, our power has gone out twice in the last 4 days, and it's been in the 70s. So I am not looking for.
Wow.
Yeah, it went out. It went out the other day for probably 5 minutes or so, and it came right back on. And then today it went out for like 10 minutes. Now, I don't know if they're practicing something. I don't know if they're getting ready for the big weather that's going to bear down on us in the next coming, what is it, tomorrow, right? No, the day after tomorrow, Thursday. Friday, they say, is when there's going to be peak demand for energy. Friday is the day. Friday morning, they're saying, we can't. And Abbott just put out a tweet that said he can't guarantee that the power grid's going to hold up, even though 2 months ago he said it was all going to be fine. But now here we are. He's like, we can't guarantee anything. So whatever.
It's kind of the, you know what? Don't hold me to that.
Yeah,
kind of energy he's got going on there.
Yeah, what are you
I think we're going to be okay. I look, the weather really doesn't look that bad. I first heard about the possibility of snow on Sunday, and each day it kind of looks a little better. Like it's only going to dip in the 20s, and it'll only be in the 20s at night. And it'll only do that for a little bit and come right back above freezing. So it's not like we're going to get a hard, clutch of 3 days under ice.
We've already had 20s. It's already dipped into the 20s, and we did fine.
Yep. Yes. So it would have to dip under freezing and stay under freezing and add precipitation of some sort to it for us to really have problems. And I don't even think that's going to happen this time around, right?
Well, I'm trying to pull up my weather. It's check your connection. All right, all fixed. Refresh this page. All right, I'm refreshing it. My connection is good. I'm trying to see what we're actually looking at here. Let me disconnect for a sec. Here we go. Reconnect. Yeah, oh, here we go. Okay, so let's see here. It looks to me that tomorrow, Wednesday, what they're calling for a high of 63 degrees, and it looks like it's going to start to drop around 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and it's going to steadily drop. And then it's going to get down to freezing by 11. Hold on. Now we're rolling into Thursday. Yeah, dude, by Saturday, it's 47 and sunny. That's inconvenient, but that's not like
right.
Collapsing
the power grid. No.
By midnight on Thursday morning, it's going to be snowing and 32 degrees, or so they say. And then, it doesn't look like it's right now. It is looking like the low is going to be 24, and that is at 1 p.m. on Friday. Is it on Friday? No, that's on Thursday. Thursday. 24th. That's it. That's what we should.
Yankees are laughing at us.
People, we're gonna be fine. With that said, AccuWeather on my computer is never right. It's never right. And they just
not so AccuWeather.
No, and they just change it willy-nilly. Like I will check it at noon and it'll be like, oh, it's going to be a high today of 70. And then it won't even come near 70. And I'll look at it at like 1 o'clock and it'll be like, the high today is now 55. I'm like, well, why'd you change it? You can't do that.
What was all that 70 talk?
You can't ask for new cards in the middle of a hand. What are you doing? You got to play this one out, dude. That's a loser prediction. All righty. Hey, do we have you know what I'm asking for? Do we have the thing? Did you send me one?
We have the thing.
All right. Let's welcome into the 1%er Compound Comfort Nest Lodge, high atop the rotating pizzeria here in beautiful downtown Highland Park, Texas. We welcome to the comedy stage a man of 1,000 voices, the global sensation. Somebody, you guys all know and love. His name is James Parker. I couldn't come up with a middle name for you there.
How about pundit? Go along with the theme. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has tested positive for COVID-19. His symptoms include headaches, fatigue, and hiding like a coward.
Isn't that the same joke as yesterday?
Did I do that yesterday? Am I looking at the wrong one?
You opened that one. Yes, that's the exact same one as yesterday.
No way.
Yes, it is. Yeah, you said 8 minutes ago, you sent the exact escalating tensions between U.S. and China, according to National Enquirer.
You want to do it? I didn't do these jokes yesterday.
No, but you did. Here's your opening joke from yesterday. Okay, are you ready? Your opening joke from yesterday was, and I deleted it. Let me go into the James. Just continue. It's a redo, the same joke. It was the same opening joke, but that's okay. We'll continue.
Escalating tension between the United States and China is having rippling effects. For example, I took a Chinese takeout today. I went to my favorite place, Hot Walk over here, and the fortune cookie said, "Go to hell."
Look at that. Go to hell, it said. Go to hell. They're getting more aggressive with these fortune cookies.
It was still a good cookie, though. I mean, I ate it. According to the National Enquirer, Tom Cruise is quitting Scientology. It's a big blow to the church because Cruise is its most prominent psycho.
Look at that guy. He sure is.
According to TMZ, A$AP Rocky and Rihanna are expecting a baby. Did you see her little baby bump? Rihanna's pregnant. I wonder, like, what's the rules? Can I just go ahead and call Child Protective Services right now, or do I have to wait until it's like actually born? Or...
Oh, come on! Oh, Child Protective Services joke. Oh my God! I believe that children are the future.
Indonesia's cracking down on homosexuality. In fact, they got a new law that says you can be arrested just for humming show tunes.
Oh man, I'm so slow on this one. Oh, show tunes! What, you people like the show tunes? Come on, give it up. Parker's working hard for you.
A new dating website helps lonely farm animals find mates. The site's a huge hit. It's already signed up more pigs than eHarmony.
Oh, I already did. Ah, crap.
That'll work. That's all right.
It'll work.
It's coming up.
Okay.
Happy birthday. Today is Harry Styles' birthday. You remember that guy, 28 years old? If you want to send him a gift, he's registered at Ann Taylor.
Look at that. Ann Taylor, because he wears ladies' clothes, ladies and gentlemen.
A little too much. Like, it's more than just a bit, right? And finally...
It's not a bit.
It's a bit. The epidemic of female teachers having sex with male students is exploding. To give you an idea of how bad it is, Teacher Magazine now has a centerfold.
Okay, let's move right along in today's show. I'm going to bring you a moment of joy. All right, we're going to have to break this down, Parker. We're going to have to break down this moment of joy because this is one that kind of unfolds. We got to watch it. I want you to call bullshit on it if you think that's what it is. I think it is, but we'll figure this out here. Where is it? Oh, my God. No. No.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There we go. All right. See this guy? All right, look at this. You can already tell. You can just tell from looking. Here, I'll make it bigger for you. Is it bigger? There you go. All right, you can already tell this is going to be a problem.
No. There's already a blur spot.
Yeah, this is
damn. Okay, let me see.
All right, so let's.
Hey, we've all been there, man. You just put your room service out front, and then you lock yourself out your room while you're butt naked. Is that what's happening?
This is my issue. We haven't all been there. I would never do this. I have more respect for the people I'm sharing a hotel room with. Look at him.
Been there.
Who is he? Borat? Look at this guy. Look at this Borat.
Been there.
All right. Now he's like, oh boy. Yeah, that's a problem. All right. Nope. Not gonna work. How you doing, boys? What's happening?
Just a hotel patron.
Wanna see my junk right now? At this point, he's borderline sexual predator. Just walking around a hotel like this. This is in this day and age, you can end a man's future for far less than this.
Well, this is one of the differences between boys and girls. If you see me walking down a hall with a couple of room service trays over my private parts, you call the cops, and someone's going to pull a gun on me and tell me to get on the ground.
See that?
If my wife runs around with just a couple of room service trays over her lower parts, best hotel ever. You run into that?
Yeah.
You're like, well, the hotel was awesome.
Yeah, I agree. But this guy now they're saying now the guy at the desk, he's like, you got to. All right, let's watch it again. Because
You got a driver's license. How can I have a driver's license if I'm naked?
How
Yeah.
can you have a driver's? Come on, what is going on? I'm not entirely certain this is real. This might be like from some Impractical Jokers thing, or I don't know what this is. Hello, boys. What's happening? Just standing outside my room with my junk. Why? Here's a question. Why is he naked in his hotel room with nobody in the room?
Dude, it's a hotel room.
I don't get naked in a hotel room. Have you ever seen those Eyewitness News black light specials? I ain't getting naked. I ain't sleeping.
Where do you think it came from?
Here's a kid. Look at this.
Came from me.
The kid, she doesn't want.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Now this guy, what is that guy secure? No, but when nobody's going to say anything, wouldn't you say something to him? Would you be like, what's up, dude? What's going on here? Can I help you out? Well, I guess I wouldn't want to help him out. Well, why wouldn't I? All right, There you go. See, now he's being questioned by the idiot behind the desk. And there you go. Not starting again. All right, we don't need that. All right, we don't need that. All right, Parker, let's get into it. Now, for some of you folks out there who don't enjoy when Parker and I do a little bit of sports talk, tough. This is a big sports talk day. This is a huge. Now, first of all, we talked about this one last night, I believe.
Well, this isn't really a football topic. There's no X's and O's. No one's going to talk about a 3-yard out or whatever.
Yeah, right. But none of these, nothing that we're going, especially the first one here. This is just a recap of what we talked about yesterday. And it's happened, James.
I don't think
we discussed it yesterday. You asked the question.
To me, those balls.
What's the deal? Is Tom Brady retired or not?
Myself, I don't want any.
Do you have your answer, James?
Yeah, he retired.
He's retired.
To me,
it's official.
So let's listen to one of my favorite songs from the Tom Brady era. Now you're a studio guy. What is this? This is that auto tune, right?
Yeah, and there's a lot more going on there. They kind of had to stretch it to lay it over the auto tune, but then they're also controlling the notes where it goes too. So someone played like a melody to go with the vocals, and then they put them together. They auto tuned it to whatever someone played, because there has to be a melody for you to auto tune it too.
Some days one ball may feel good, the next day it may not.
Beautiful.
I want to be very familiar with the equipment that I'm using.
Listen for a moment.
This is in ISIS. No one's dying, but this is a very important thing.
Everybody, to me, those balls are perfect.
I can only speak for myself. I don't want anyone touching the balls, blowing the balls.
To me, those balls are perfect.
Some guys like them round, and some guys like them thin. Some guys like old balls, new balls. They're all different, so you gotta feel them, and you gotta squeeze them.
But to me, those balls are perfect. God, this song's beautiful.
Man, that is amazing audio work. Really good editing.
And it's official. Tom Brady did retire today. He, oh boy, did he want to control this news cycle. He really, he basically, what's happening here? He basically called Adam Schefter and Jeff Darlington liars, fake news when they broke the story on Saturday. And guess what? Guess who kept the receipts? Adam Schefter. He was out there today on Twitter going, I told you, people. I told you. So there you have it. Tom Brady, 40, what is he, 44?
Yeah, he's my age.
Something like that. Oh, he's your age.
Mm-hmm.
Look at
so
that.
Now I'm older than everybody in the NFL.
How's that feel?
Horrible. I feel like I'm 100.
Wait, do me a favor.
It's a bad feeling.
Give me ABCs. Do your ABCs.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z.
All right. Do it again. I don't know why I can't get you louder.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z.
All right, there you go. We don't want you that loud, but I did want you a little.
See, Byron says it happened to his friend in a hotel. Like, this hadn't literally happened to me, but I've seen other people get locked out that I can imagine people getting locked out naked is probably a semi-regular occurrence.
Here, I want to show you.
Anyway, go back to the football stuff. I
want to show you one last Tom Brady thing, because this is pretty miraculous. Oh, by the way, people in New England are all butthurt because in his retirement speech, He didn't bow down and kiss the ass of everybody in Boston for 20 minutes. So he didn't even mention us once. And imagine being that much of a bitch. Imagine being that much of a little bitch that your hero, and he should still be their hero. We played 20 of his 22 seasons there. He won him a boatload of trophies. That trophy case is the Tom Brady commemorative trophy case out there in Foxborough. But honestly, it was trending earlier today that people were all upset. People in Boston were upset that he did. Oh, stop it. Just stop it. Here, let me show you this. This is pretty incredible. This is something that was going around on the Twitter. Here we go. See if we make it bigger. There we go. We'll make it nice and big for you because I know that's how you like it, you dirty boy. Here we go. These are pictures of Tom Brady throughout his career. The dude is not aging. Look at this. How crazy is that? Show me old Tom Brady. Show me where he shows any sign that he's not a vampire. And your mic is off.
Yeah, so there's maybe a little bit of baby fat you could say fell off between the top left and the bottom right. But it is minimal. It is minimal.
Better, like a fine wine. You're right. He looks like a dork. That guy in the upper left-hand corner, he ain't getting no supermodel. That's a 5th-round draft pick guy that nobody had any expectations for out of Michigan. That guy in the bottom right, it's the GOAT right there. That's the greatest of all time.
Yeah. He's 7 Super Bowls deep with that smile.
Yeah, that is incredible. And I was thinking about this today.
Bro, those last 3 pictures look identical.
Yeah.
They look like they were taken on the same day, 10 seconds apart.
It's like he's sleeping in formaldehyde or something. I was thinking about this today. They're making a big deal about, he's 44 years old and he just had the best season of his career. He did, statistically threw 5,000 yards.
He led the league in passing touchdowns and passing yards this year.
Yeah,
this year, right?
Yeah. You had all those stats.
I had the whole set of records from his career, but last year in the single season, I think he was number 1 in touchdowns and yards.
So the average age of a tenured quarterback in the NFL as of 2000 upon retirement was 34 years old. So that was the average age. Some of them hung on a little bit longer. I think it was not Dan Marino. It was John Elway who went to 38. That's probably the peak of it. The average span of an NFL career is less than 5 years. So Tom Brady went longer than 38 by more than the average career in the NFL. He went to 44. And I guess if we're looking at those standards, if we're looking at like the ages of the people, Bradshaw and Staub, the older guys, if we're looking at it from that measure, how old they were when those guys retired, which was all mid 30s, 34, 35, somewhere in there. It's pretty shocking that Tom Brady has added 10 years. But I am telling you, this is going to be nothing for a quarterback to play past 44 in the coming years. I could see Patrick Mahomes playing to 44. I could see a Justin Herbert playing to 44, a Joe Burrow playing to 40. Someone like Josh Allen, no, because Josh Allen takes a lot of hits and he's a big body who, there's going to be damage there. But when we're talking about the modern NFL, the way it is now, the way quarterbacks are protected through the rules and through the penalties and the flags that are thrown, and we're talking about the way they take care of their bodies and the way that, these guys are showing up. It used to be a big deal. A quarterback in the 1970s, he goes to ballet to stay limber. These dudes now take spin classes 3 times a day in the offseason. You know what I mean? They're just taking better care of their bodies. So I had that thought today. I'm like, yeah, it's impressive. I guess somebody has to be the first to set the new standard of how old you can play to. But I don't think he's by any means going to be the last quarterback to play to 44 years old. But Patrick Mahomes is an elusive son of a bitch. Nobody hits him. He's going to be fine. And when they do hit him, it's beneficial to the offense because typically you're going to get some yellow on the field.
See, this is why I'm such a big fan of performance enhancing drugs. This is why I think, I know it sounds like a bit, but I want to see someone play until they're 54. I want to see someone kick a 70-yard field goal. Okay. I want to see, I don't care if they have a syringe like bobbing out of their neck while they're running down the field with the ball. Like, I want to test the limits of human abilities. And that's
Yeah.
what sports is all about. And maybe we have to have like the natural league where no one's juicing, but I want, because if Tom Brady was allowed to juice, he wouldn't quit. He
So
would.
what if we just suspend the records? Like we'll just suspend. We'll hold all the records, but for the next 20 years, we're gonna let these monsters. I mean, I'll tell you the sport I'd like to see it in. I'd like to see it in baseball. I want to see some son of a bitch hit 100 home runs in a season. That's what I want to see.
Right.
I want to see a 700-foot center field home run.
That's what I want to see too. Yeah, I want to see. I want to see it go out of the stadium.
Yeah.
I want to see it in 360. That's where I want it to land.
What we're keeping them pure. Why? For our own satisfaction, so that we can sit there and go, well, I could have done that, if I just hadn't blown my knee out senior year, that kind of nonsense. No, let these thoroughbreds run, man. Let's see what the potential of the human specimen truly is.
And look, steroids, they act like it's cheating, but you can take steroids and you're not going to automatically get stronger. You still have to lift the weights. You still have to run the sprints. You still have to do the work. It just helps you recover faster. So, I mean, it is kind of a performance-enhancing drug in the fact that you can train better than guys without it, but it doesn't prevent you. It's not a shortcut.
Well,
you still have to you have to put the work in.
It is you have to put the work in, certainly, but it is a shortcut to power. It is a shortcut to strength. It is in baseball. It is certainly a shortcut to what do they call it? Quick twitch reflexes. Where baseball is all about being able to get the bat around, and dudes on roids can just get that bat around quicker. And when they make contact, especially when they make flush contact. Well, I mean, just look at Barry Bonds the last 10 years of his career. That guy was an animal. That guy was an absolute
And he
animal.
made it to like age 44, didn't he?
Yeah, Bonds played a while before. Actually, Bonds could probably still be playing. Seriously, no joke.
Yes.
Barry Bonds could still be playing if they didn't find out about the roids. He'd be like a 60-year-old, however old he is. One last thing in the world of football before we get into the big football story, because I know you and I both want to sink our teeth into that. So tomorrow, it's been years in the making. Are you a fan of the Washington football team? The Washington football team for a few years now have been just that, the Washington football team. They've had in the Washington area all kinds of contests. Name the team. Every school kid has been. That's what they do. Oh, it's a name the team contest.
I voted for the Bullets.
The Washington Bull.
I don't think it's going to make it though.
I like that. Why didn't that work? Hold on. What the hell? Now suddenly nothing's working.
They should be either the Bullets or the Lobbyists. Wouldn't that be hilarious if they were the Washington Lobbyists? Dude, the jerseys would sell off the rack.
There we go. There you go. Now I got it for you. I like. There were the Red Wolves. There was the Commander.
Is that even a thing? Is there even such thing as a red wolf?
No, dude. There was.
So weak sauce.
I don't think there's an animal called the Red.
They should just call them the Redskins. Just call them the Redskins. Be like,
call them the Red.
Yeah. It was a mistake. We'll just restore the name.
Not a mistake, but we won't go into that. Anyway, they changed the name, and that's fine. And this is an opportunity for some. It finally was told to them that this is a huge rebranding opportunity, and that there is going to be way more money in this than anything else. But they've been teasing us now for a couple of months. They said they settled on a name. The name is going to be released on Groundhog's Day. Tomorrow, they are going to make official the name, and a local Washington news helicopter has ruined it for everybody. And there isn't a nicer guy in the world to have their day spoiled than Daniel Snyder, owner of the Washington football team. So here you go. This is a helicopter. All right, so this is a helicopter for, is it CBS News? I'm not sure what it is. A local news team there in Washington, D.C., and they are zooming in on the, what would you call it? The team shop, the pro shop inside the stadium, where they sell all the new jerseys and all of that stuff. So remember, there's a big to-do scheduled for tomorrow where they are going to announce the new name of the team. Let's look through the window. Let's see. And it's the Commanders.
Okay.
Look
All
at
right.
somebody. Yeah, Daniel Snyder, too cheap for curtains, are you? Because you didn't think this through. Look at that. There you go.
What an amazing telephoto lens on that camera.
There you go. Washington Commanders. That's going to be the new team. Screw off, Daniel Snyder, you piece of garbage. There it is.
That's a pretty good mascot.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, look, it's better.
Sounds like a USFL team is what it sounds like.
Whatever, every new NFL team is going to sound like a USFL team.
Okay, well, bro, you as the resident USFL expert, when do they kick off?
The USFL?
Yeah.
I believe. Hold on a second. I'm having a problem with my sound. I don't know why I'm so loud.
Is it the week after the Super Bowl?
No. Oh, no. It's going to be in the spring. They're playing all the games in Alabama. They're doing a
Birmingham, right?
Yeah, they're doing a bubble season, which I don't like, but whatever. I don't know. I don't know if they're using the pandemic as an excuse or if they're just fearful that, the Philadelphia Stars weren't going to be able to draw in their inaugural season. So they're making all of the different teams play sort of a staggered schedule at two different stadiums there in Birmingham, Alabama. Not off to a good start. Although I have seen all the uniforms. And they are all replicas of the originals. They're the same colors, same team names as the original USFL teams. Not all the teams. My Blitz. I don't know. We don't have a team in Chicago. The Chicago Blitz. That's where my heart and soul was back in 1983.
Well, Michigan Panthers are pretty close.
No. Yeah.
Are they in Detroit? Where are they?
Yeah. They play in Detroit. Michigan Panthers. They took 8 teams from the old USFL. I want to say Houston Gamblers, Michigan Panthers,
Birmingham Stallions, Houston Gamblers, New Orleans Breakers, Tampa Bay Bandits, Michigan Panthers, New Jersey Generals,
Philadelphia Stars,
Pittsburgh Maulers.
Yeah, I'm going to be rooting for the Tampa Bay Bandits because they were a team that I liked back in the day. I enjoyed. Burt Reynolds was one of the owners of the Tampa Bay Bandits, so.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they were a cool team. They were a cool team. They were a fun team. They were supposed to be good. The Generals were also an interesting team. They were supposed to be really good, but they weren't. They had Herschel Walker and Doug Flutie, and everybody thought, oh my God, the team with Herschel Walker and Doug Flutie is going to dominate. And they didn't. You know who the Patriots of the old USFL was?
No idea. No.
Philadelphia Stars. Philadelphia. I want to say the Philadelphia Stars made all 3 of the USFL Super Bowls, winning 2 of them. They were just dominant as hell. The Philly Stars. Although the Philly Stars moved after winning the Super Bowl, they still couldn't. USFL Bowl, whatever the hell you called it. They still couldn't sell, so they moved to Baltimore, and they became the Baltimore Stars, and then just won more titles. They were just a juggernaut team. Sorry. All right. I suppose that we ought to just get to it, right? Let's just let's get into what the big story here is in the NFL. Whoa! All right. Major breaking news coming out of the NFL today. We're going to pull this one apart. Brian Flores, most recently of the Miami Dolphins, has filed a class action suit against specifically the New York Giants, the Houston Texans, the Denver Broncos, and I believe just the NFL in totem for violations of the Rooney Rule, basically calling the Rooney Rule a big old bogus piece of junk, saying that there is really no intention on the part of NFL teams to follow the heart and soul of what the Rooney Rule was intended to be. And just from watching this today, it's this could be trouble. It is a 56-page document, not filed by some law firm that he got off of a bus bench. This is a major New York law firm who has, in their recent past, taken down Fox News in the Bill O'Reilly situation, taken down Harvey Weinstein in the Weinstein Group, and now they're taking on the NFL. So, James, the floor is yours. Where do you want to go with this? There's a whole bunch of moving parts that we can cover here. Brian Flores.
What is he suing for? Yes, it's humiliating. Yes, it's a joke. Yes, it shouldn't exist. But what is he suing for? Money?
Well, hold on. What's a joke and what shouldn't exist?
The Rooney Rule. I agree that the Rooney Rule is humiliating. It's dehumanizing is what it is.
Okay, I don't agree with that at all, but continue on with your thought process. I think.
Well, what's he asking? Is he asking for money? Is he asking?
No, that is interesting. What exactly is he asking for? I think he is asking for these teams to, why not just pull it up here? Okay, we'll figure this out. I'll read verbatim from the news story as it was presented to us. Although sadly, for some reason, I just clicked on this and it's TMZ. So, there are better sources, I am certain.
No, TMZ is pretty solid.
Yeah, but I'm talking about for details of the ins and outs and what is the ask? That's a good question. What is the ask from Brian Flores here? Other than he wants these teams to be held accountable and
what does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean? That's a good question. Let's see here. We'll figure out exactly. Brian Flores, this is from TMZ again, so the verbiage is going to be a little bit kiddie. Brian Flores is going scorched earth on the NFL and the New York Giants, filing an explosive lawsuit where the former Dolphins head coach alleges the team's hiring practices were rooted in racism, and he claims a text from Bill Belichick proves it. The 40-year-old coach filed a class action lawsuit through attorneys Douglas H. Wigdor, Michael J. Williman, and David E. Gottlieb in district court in New York on Tuesday, and it's shocking. Flores says he received a text from his former boss and Patriots head coach days before he interviewed with the Giants. That was the Belichick text. We'll get into that. During the conversation, Flores says Bill Belichick congratulated him on landing the new gig. Brian Flores was confused by the comment because he had yet to go in for his scheduled interview and asked Bill if he had an inside track on their decision. Belichick eventually admits that he misread the information that he receives and tells Flores it was actually a different Brian he thought he was talking to. That is, of course, Brian Daboll. So here's how the text went between Bill Belichick, who, and there's a million questions here about Bill Belichick, because I think we've all done this, yes, where we've accidentally texted somebody something that was intended for somebody else.
Oh, yeah. We've all done that, been there.
I think that's a fairly common phenomena that strikes us all from time to time.
Especially when you tell your phone, like, Siri, text Brian.
Fuck Siri. I don't trust Siri. I do not. My Google can't even. Apparently, I speak Lithuanian because my voice thing never knows what I'm saying. Anyway, so Bill Belichick reaches out to Brian Flores. He says, sounds like you've landed. Congrats. To which Brian Flores responds, did you hear something I didn't hear? Belichick responds, Giants? Question mark, exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point. Brian Flores responds, I interview on Thursday. I think I have a shot at it. Belichick then responds, got it. I hear from Buffalo and the New York Giants that you're their guy. Hope it works out if that's what you want. Flores responds, that's definitely what I want. I hope you're right, coach. Thank you. Then there's a pause, and then Flores hits back again. Coach, are you talking to Brian Flores or Brian Daboll? Just making sure. Okay, so both Daboll and Flores are, of course, in the Belichick coaching tree. They've both been assistants under Bill Belichick, so it would make sense that, maybe coach would have. But does he just have all the Brians? Is that how it comes up on a phone? I guess I'm not sure. Would all the Brians just come up listed one? Okay, so maybe it was an honest mistake. To which then it goes, hold on. Who are you? So he says, Coach, are you talking to Brian Flores or Brian Dable? This is Brian Flores asking, just making sure. Bill Belichick responds, sorry, I effed this up. I double checked and misread the text. I think they are naming Dable. I'm sorry about that. And then Bill Belichick, to which Flores, in just the most heartbreaking text I've ever read, thanks, Bill.
Damn.
So crestfallen.
Dude,
Now,
that's so painful.
But let's break this down first, okay? So Bill Belichick claims he's a bit of a troglodyte when it comes to electronics and computers and all of these things. He doesn't, so maybe this was an honest mistake. But also, Bill Belichick hates. I mean, hates is probably too weak of a word. He's not a big Roger Goodell fan. I mean, we played the "To Me These Balls Are Perfect" song. I mean, the NFL has come after Bill Belichick in a way that no other league has ever come after one of their Mount Rushmore guys. You know what I mean? And so I think that Bill Belichick, so there is an argument to be had that maybe Bill Belichick, who was considered an incredibly bright man, although self-admitted troglodyte when it comes to computers and technology and all this stuff, was Bill Belichick trying to light a fuse, or is he really just an old man who made the mistake that many of us have made before?
Yeah, it was a mistake, but it does betray the fact that New York already had their mind made up, and that reference to Buffalo was Daboll's previous job. And New York, the Giants were just going through the motions with Brian Flores as a formality to satisfy the Rooney Rule. And that is humiliating. That is a waste of everybody's time. That is sort of like this weird.
I find that amazing that you as a white man is just so comfortable stating that the Rooney Rule is a waste of time. I think it's progress. I think it's neat. I think it's a shame that there needs to be a rule to encourage these entirely white class of billionaire team owners to at least interview extremely worthy black candidates for 32 positions in the league. I mean, I don't get it. The humiliating for you, or are you just projecting humiliation on black coaches who've been overlooked?
Well, it would be humiliating for me, but Brian Flores is on the record saying it was.
You.
I know, but Brian Flores himself said it was humiliating. I'm not projecting. He said himself it was a humiliating process.
Well, no, the process was humiliating after he learned. What he was speaking when Brian Flores said the process was humiliating, it was because he went and sat through that meeting on Thursday with the New York Giants, knowing full well from the conversation with Bill Belichick that they'd already hired Brian Dable. Yeah. That was humiliating, not the Rooney Rule. You're projecting the Rooney Rule.
But the Rooney Rule caused this, and the Rooney Rule has been suspected to cause this quite a few times. And
trying to circumvent the Rooney Rule, not operating in good faith with the Rooney Rule is what caused this, not the Rooney Rule itself. It is a shame that the Rooney Rule has to exist, but the Rooney Rule didn't cause it. White billionaire team owners who just want to hire who they want to hire and don't want to be told otherwise, they, in their attempt to circumvent the soul of the rule, they caused this, not the rule itself.
Yeah, but would they have done it had the Rooney Rule not existed?
No, they wouldn't have hired anybody if the Rooney Rule hadn't existed. And by the way,
no, they would have hired Daboll.
Right. They would have hired Daboll.
Right. So you got the same result without jerking around a guy just because he's black.
Okay. I feel like this is some sort of weird gymnastics that we're doing. The problem is that they would have just hired the guy they wanted, because the guy they wanted always seems to be a white guy. Always. 32 teams in the league. Do you realize?
I know. Look, I'm indifferent to whether they're white or black. Who gives a rip if they're white or black? Do we need the Rooney Rule for halfbacks too, or for cornerbacks? We don't need the Rooney Rule for that. Just for coach, just for the things that the white guy is actually succeeding at on the football field. Why not the Rooney Rule for quarterbacks? Why not?
Well, hey, that's a good question. I mean, why did it take 60 years of the NFL to have an actual Super Bowl winning quarterback? Why was that? Why were quarterbacks almost routinely converted to wide receivers or defensive backs when they were effective and championship level quarterbacks in college? Why was that? That's a good question.
Well, then why is there a dearth of white cornerbacks in the NFL?
Because they're not as good. Because apparently, because
it's a
those are
meritocracy when
yes,
white
that
guys fail.
no, it is absolutely a position player
When
on
black
a
guys
field.
succeed, it's a meritocracy. When white guys succeed, it's discrimination.
So wait, you don't think that first string on a professional football team should be a meritocracy?
No, absolutely, I do. I'm
And that's why.
Of course, it should.
Yeah.
And so should the coach.
Yes, it should be, but it hasn't.
Well, that's
been.
what they're doing now.
No,
Who says it hasn't been?
It has because
because white guys get the job, so clearly it's not a meritocracy if it's majority white.
Clearly, absolutely, clearly.
Oh, okay. But for cornerbacks and halfbacks, it's a meritocracy.
James, how many black NFL coaches are there currently in the NFL? There are 32 teams. How many?
Maybe 0.
There's one. There's Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin, who just happens to play for the team that Art Rooney, the man that the Rooney Rule is named for, owned. Okay, this is silly. Black coaches have historically been overlooked for positions of leadership within these NFL football teams since the beginning of the league.
Who's against it? Who's against? Who's out there saying I don't want to hire that guy because he's black? I would rather lose more games than hire a black guy because I would not be down with that.
No, it's that they don't, for whatever reason, you're right. I would be projecting. I can't project as to what the reason is, but it certainly does look like there is a racial inequity when it comes to leading football teams on the field. We're talking about a league that is 70% African-American, and there is only 1 in 32 coaches currently. Here's the real failure of the Rooney Rule, and you'll get a kick out of this. Okay, so the Rooney Rule was established in 2003. Because of what was believed to have been the unjust firings of Tony Dungy and Dennis Green. In 2003, or 2002, in 2002 in the NFL, there were three NFL black coaches. 20 years after the Rooney Rule, there's only 1. So obviously there is a problem. Obviously, the Rooney Rule.
I disagree. Why is it obviously there's a problem?
Because
Maybe
Eric
white
Bieniemy
people
can't get a job when every other Andy Reid assistant has gotten jobs and failed doing the exact same thing. Eric Bieniemy is still. There were 9 teams available looking for coaches this cycle. Not one has been a black coach, and Eric Bieniemy is still sitting there going, so I guess nobody's going to hire me, huh? You hired Matt Nagy, you hired Doug Peterson, you hired Sean McDermott, you hired all the other coaches that have been on this staff. I have won a Super Bowl with this team, and none of these other guys did, but I can't. Come on. I mean, there is something to be looked at here. You're just resisting the idea that racism is systematic within the NFL.
Yes, I am resisting the idea that racism is systematic within the NFL. They are very pro Black Lives Matter. There's 70% black players. When did they come out and did they ever stand up for like white rights or anything like that? No, of course they're not racist. Jesus Christ, they have to appeal to everybody.
And don't need to be fought for. White rights are not in question. That's not the issue of the year 2022.
I know it would be ridiculous. It would be ridiculous. So the idea that they're racist is ridiculous, right? That's what I am saying. You're making my point.
No,
dude,
I don't. Of
course, it's not racist. Who in the NFL will raise their hand and say, "I am a racist"?
You right now. Apparently.
I am not a racist. I am absolutely not a racist. I do not believe people have inherent traits.
Ignorant of the circumstances.
No. I do not buy in just because disparate outcomes is all it takes to prove that there's bigotry involved. And if it doesn't work for halfbacks and cornerbacks, then I don't like how the double standard gets thrown on coaches.
Okay, so you are believing because, and we agree, let's walk through this. We agree that a starting positional player on an NFL team should be merit-based. Yes, we agree.
Yes.
And do you believe that there are no white cornerbacks in the NFL because, there's a guy named John Smith who's just as good as Jalen Ramsey? Is that your argument?
I don't know what you're saying there.
What I'm saying is, do you think that there's some sort of anti-white racism that stops cornerbacks?
Absolutely not. No.
Okay.
If there were cornerbacks that could shut down Tyreek Hill, they would be starting for the Cowboys right now, and everyone would be cheering them on.
Absolutely, yes. Because that's the players on the field. That's what you want. So now let's move to the sideline. Can we be consistent with the idea that a meritocracy is warranted here? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So you're saying that black coaches just aren't worthy? they're not meritorious insofar as being the head coach of a team?
I am saying that the bell curve, when you get to the really fringe ends of any population that has a bell curve, even if it skews just a tiny percentage one way, you're going to get drastic variations when you only have 32 slots to fill. Okay. Here, look, another example. I don't know if this is true now, but it was a couple years ago. I saw an incredible stat of the top ranked 100 chess players in the world. 50 of them were Jewish. Now, are they really smarter and just naturally inclined to chess, or do they pursue it more? And do other people? Yeah, and do other people pursue it less? Yeah. So, there's 10,000 other explanations other than flat out old white racism.
Okay.
Why a coach is more likely to be white in the NFL.
So why? Why is a coach? Because you're saying that white people pursue the head coaching position more than a league that is 70% black? That's what you're saying?
That certainly would be a more common option for even the most accomplished, hardest working white football player. They're less likely to make it to the NFL. The NFL is 70% black, right? So their coaching career starts immediately. I don't want to say all the best white players, but a big chunk of them. Plus, look, if you're not a starter,
the majority of white NFL coaches who are currently helming teams never played in the league. They're not even players. They just decided that
they became coaches. Right. They didn't bother playing for 20 years.
Never played the game. Well, let's say they are both coaching assistants. They're both 22-year-olds. One guy played for a national championship college team, and the other guy is just a white guy who wants to be a coach. You're telling me that white guy should have a better or quicker trajectory to the head coaching position than the black guy? For what reason? Because
I'm indifferent to his race.
The black athlete who has played the game is more of a right to claim head coaching knowledge than I'd say a guy who has never done that.
Well, Brian Flores is my very solid counter example to that. He played in college. He was probably good enough to go pro, but he had an injury, so he immediately went into coaching. He didn't spend any time pursuing playing anymore. He went straight to coaching. So, that pursuit of an actual career could have been 4, 5, 6 years. That was 4, 5, 6 years that he was building up his coaching chops, where he was learning and spending those formative years. Also, look, if you're less likely to start, you're more likely to be on the sideline with the coach holding the clipboard. You're also more likely for the coach to lean over and say, you know what, maybe you should go into coaching.
So let's take the example again of Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy is a man who is in his mid-50s. He has been coaching now for 20-something years, and the Chicago Bears just hired Matt Eberflus, who never played and hasn't been coaching nearly as long as Eric Bieniemy has. Yet Eric Bieniemy, on paper, if you saw no color, you would hire Eric Bieniemy way before you would hire a Matt Eberflus, who was recently hired. I don't think that your argument here holds water. I think that you're resistant to the notion that the NFL could possibly be racist in any way when their history itself is steeped in racism.
Okay, but the way people felt in 1961 was not the way people feel in 2022. There is no one, literally no one, who will raise their hand in the NFL and say, I'm a racist. There's not one. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating.
I agree. No one would do that.
Right, exactly. So
what are you wanting? Of course, no one would do that, but that doesn't mean that that's not how they feel.
So you have Eric Bieniemy, which is a good counterexample on your side, and he probably will get a head coaching job pretty soon. And
probably
we will see.
Now. He will now. He'll be fast tracked to one of the 4 or 5 remaining jobs by the NFL. The NFL will make some calls and say, you better hire Eric Bieniemy because we need to hire.
Didn't he win a Heisman too? Wasn't he a Heisman? He was a running back. Colorado, yeah.
It was terrific. He played on McCartney's teams. He
was amazing. Yeah, and good to see him do so well as a coach.
But 20 years. For 20 years, he's been languishing as a truly effective coach. Eric Bieniemy has been at the top of the coaching rumor list for a decade now, and he's still sitting there, man. The list of Andy Reid assistants is embarrassing. When you look at Eric Bieniemy just sitting there going, What's different between me and Doug Peterson, Matt Nagy, John Harbaugh, Sean McDonough? Come on, man. It's very strange.
Well, I wish him the best. I
Me
wish
too.
him.
You and I
I
both.
wish him. So go buy a football team and you can hire him.
Okay, so there you go. Okay, there, you just said it. So, and that's something that I can get behind. If that's the argument that if you own the football team, you should be able to hire anybody you want, anytime you want, regardless of whether or not the fact that you're a racist informs your decision. Is that what you're saying?
I don't think any of the 32 owners are a racist, so I don't even think that's a factor.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
Really? Okay.
Really.
All right. So you think Jerry Jones would be? Well, I don't want to use Jerry Jones because I don't
Yes,
think he's
he would
ever
be fine,
displayed-
dude.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever-
Jerry Jones would hire a green person.
Jerry Jones has never shown any sort of. That was unfair of me. I just used that as an example here. But people would say that about the NBA too, right? And then suddenly Donald Sterling gets caught on tape.
He didn't even say the N-word. He just said, "Can you stop bringing him around the owner's suite, your boyfriends?"
You don't have to say it. So the N-word is your grenade. That's the one.
That's not even my grenade. Dave Chappelle can say the N-word. Louis C.K. has said the N-word. You have said the N-word.
No, I haven't. No, I haven't. You've never heard me say the N-word.
Oh.
No, you haven't.
Well, not you saying it like you are calling someone that, but you have quoted other people using the N-word. Yes.
Possibly, yes. Okay.
Yes.
But I haven't used it pejoratively, and I haven't used
No,
it.
you
Right.
not thrown it at anyone. You've quoted someone else saying it. But look, that level of nuance wouldn't absolve Donald Sterling if he had been caught on tape saying it.
I don't know. So anyway, regardless of whether or not we're going to agree on it, and we're not going to agree on that, that's fine. We don't agree on a lot of things. The bottom line is, I guess we have to wonder, is this I'll ask you this, is this a big deal for the NFL? Do you think this is a big deal, or is this just something that's going to run a couple of news cycles and it's going to go away?
This is not a big deal for the NFL. The fact that it is a meritocracy means more and more black coaches are going to eventually start filtering into the ranks of head coaches, and they're going to be successful, which will cause.
It's been 20 years of the Rooney Rule, and we've got less black coaches now than we did the year before the Rooney Rule.
I think that's solid evidence. The Rooney Rule, while it was well intended, has been an absolute failure.
Yes. But now we ask the question, why has it been an absolute failure? And we're going back to the whole thing, because there are no owners, or I shouldn't say no owners, but there is enough owners that are not operating under the guise of the Rooney Rule with the best of intentions. They just want to hire who they want to hire, and maybe they feel more comfortable hanging out with a white guy. I don't know. I would disagree with you about this being a big deal. This is a massive deal. This is the nightmare scenario for the NFL, because what they're faced with right now, they have banked on always being able to shut down any sort of lawsuit with teeth. Not only does this lawsuit have teeth on multiple levels, whether it's some of the accusations that are not necessarily in league with the Rooney Rule that have been thrown at Stephen Ross, the owner of the Dolphins. I mean, page 40 of this thing. This was what was so great about this story today. And I don't know if you had a chance to listen to it the way that I did, the way it unfolded, but it was broken around 3:00 this afternoon. And the very first thing was just the Rooney Rule aspect. And then, it was announced it's 56-page filing. There's 56 pages. So over the next hour and a half, lawyers and pundits and all these people were just going through this 56 and just pulling out nuggets, like one of the best ones. And I think that this is real trouble. We'll dance away from, the other debate that we were just having. But what will be a massive deal for the NFL is the idea that Brian Flores claims in this case that Stephen Ross offered him $100,000 in 2019 for every loss that he could deliver to the Miami Dolphins that would improve their place in the NFL draft. He would give him $100,000. And Brian Flores refused to do that. Brian Flores, he was a winner. He wants to win. He's a damn good coach. When he was fired a few months ago, maybe it was even less than that, people were scratching their head going, how the hell are you going to fire this guy? Are you kidding me? This guy has been winning with a trash heap of a team. He turned the Dolphins around. And why that's a problem is because that speaks to the integrity of the league. And that is the one thing, especially now that the league is in bed with all of these gambling sites and all of these different, all of this big money coming in from the DraftKings and all of this stuff. Now we've got an integrity of the league issue. So I think that's going to be a really big problem. And I would bet that Stephen Ross's day tomorrow is going to be filled with a whole bunch of phone calls with New York. Whole bunch of talks with Roger Goodell about, what the hell is this? There was also a tampering charge that was levied. He said that he was asked to come to the marina to have lunch, last minute kind of a thing. Brian Flores, come have lunch. I want to talk to you about some things. And when he arrived at the marina, he was informed that Deshaun Watson, the quarterback, who the Miami Dolphins were much discussed as being one of the leading candidates in the trade for the Houston Texans. He was told that, thank you for joining me for lunch. Hey, it just so happens 2 boats over, Deshaun Watson is, why don't you go introduce yourself? And Brian Flores said, that's tampering. I'm not going to do that. I can't do that. And then he was fired a few months later. So there's some shady stuff going on with the Dolphins organization. And there was a lot of questions asked as to why the hell would they cut bait on Brian Flores when he seems to be one of the great young coaches in the league. So that is another side of this thing. And I think those are very real issues.
I love the story, though. I think nothing but good can come of this lawsuit.
Well, yeah, I agree. Certainly nothing but entertainment for us.
Yes,
for those of
for
us
us,
who like the
certainly.
league. This is going to be fun. But back to my nightmare scenario for the NFL. They had always banked on the fact that they could make it go away because the people who could ever bring a case against them were people who were within the fold. They were people who were in the NFL. There are only 32 teams in this league. If you piss off the league and your career is to operate within the league, it's career suicide. Nobody's ever going to hire you. I don't want to say the evil name, but Colin Kaepernick is a great example of this. The nightmare scenario for the NFL is a viable coaching candidate who just as recently as last season was a hell of a coach in the NFL, who is willing to sacrifice his future career in order to bring this case to the public view. That's a problem. Let's be honest. The problem is going to be the court of public opinion. It's not going to be necessarily whatever happens inside. And this is traditionally what the NFL has kowtowed to, the court of public opinion, whether it's the end racism on the back of the helmets or, whatever, all these new things that they've implemented in the days following or in the years following the Colin Kaepernick thing. That's what the NFL is really afraid of. They're afraid of their big money sponsors going, what is this about?
Yeah. And I think the bigger issue is really going to be that dude throwing the games, because if he's doing it, how are the other 31 guys not doing it? How are no one else is throwing? Because the Saints got in trouble for a bounty system, so they're shady stuff. It's naturally going to happen. You have guys with a lot of money, and this is their favorite toy, and they're going to do whatever they want with it because they're billionaires, and If I had that little toy, I'd be playing with it too. I would never be throwing games, but I can understand why Jerry Jones dabbles and tries to sway draft picks and whatnot.
First of all, I have to applaud you in your ability to shut me down when I tried to get into the racist history of the NFL. And then you immediately said, this isn't 1961. That was good because I was loaded for bear on that one. And you're right. It's a bit disingenuous in 2022 to argue about something that occurred in 1934. It's a totally different time, totally different worldview. The people who are in charge are completely different individuals. But here's what we're looking at now. Okay. So what I think might be the immediate effect of this filing today is that there are still, here, I wrote down these teams. How many teams we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. There are still 5 teams that are looking for head coaches. There is currently only one African-American person of color, whatever you want to, you can't say minority because Ron Rivera is still employed.
Hispanic.
Yeah.
Well, how come there's not more Mexicans as head coaches? They're like 20-something% of the population.
Yes, but they're not 1% of the NFL population. That is
that's discrimination. You can't tell me they're all just playing soccer.
Yeah,
no, I think it's anti-Mexican, anti-Hispanic racism. That's what it is.
I am telling you that there are only so many Tony Gonzalez's and Anthony Munoz's.
So are you saying like these positions are primarily filled by the people who pursue them in a greater proportion than other cultures?
Well, I mean, just
That's an
without
interesting theory you got there. Does that work for
yes,
head
I do.
coaches?
No, but I do
No,
believe
it
that
doesn't work for head coaches.
I don't know what you're trying to get me to say. I'm just going back onto the Hispanic thing. Don't try and back me into a corner because it's not going to work. Hispanics, just think of the rosters. I mean, there's not a whole lot of Hispanic sounding names, and I don't have any
Racism.
numbers on that. How is that racism? Yo, are you?
If it was a
telling me- are you-
meritocracy, if it was a meritocracy, wouldn't there be some Mexicans in there?
Crazy.
Maybe a
No,
Cuban or something.
there's just I don't know.
Oh, look, we see Cubans all over baseball because I guess baseball's not racist.
No, because maybe that is just something that. Well,
Oh,
no,
maybe that's something they pursue more. Maybe like culturally speaking.
No, don't put words in my mouth. The difference between baseball and football in this respect is that baseball is a global sport, and most of the Hispanics who play baseball come from countries outside the United States, whereas 95% of all players in the NFL, and I saw this today, 95% are American. So American Hispanics are just simply not playing
Meritorious. You said it's a meritocracy. You're saying they're lacking in merit.
If your name is Hernandez and you are a killer linebacker, you're gonna get drafted and you're gonna make there's nobody saying that Mexicans can't be drafted.
But you said it's a meritocracy. You admitted it's a meritocracy. So now you're saying Hispanics aren't meritorious enough to be linebacker.
I'm saying that there's not enough of them to compete for positions in the way that I guess the other ethnic groups are. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Does that work for head coach?
That is such a bizarre argument there. No, of course not, because they're two completely different things. A head coach does not in any way need to have a specific 40 time or need to be a Division I standout at his position. This is not the same argument. Although I understand it probably feels. No, it's not. We could go back and forth with this. All right. So here are the openings that when we started this cycle, here were the openings for coaches. We have the Chicago Bears, the Denver Broncos, the New York Giants, the Oakland Raiders. Chicago Bears hired Matt Eberfluss, white guy. Denver Broncos hired Nathaniel Hackett, white guy. Giants hired Brian Daboll, white guy. Raiders hired Josh McDaniels, white guy. We've got the Saints, Texans, Vikings, Jags, and Finns. One of the ways that this lawsuit can be diffused is if the NFL requires at least 3 of these teams to hire black. Eric Bieniemy better get a job. Les Frazier better get a job. You better. That's what we're looking at now. And you're right. That is wrong because now it's not a meritocracy. Now it's the NFL trying to just win the day in the court of public opinion by being able to say, well, look, you filed this on Tuesday, and by Friday, we had more NFL head coaches of color. I mean, that would be the height of disingenuous behavior, right? I would think, whether it's deserved or not.
Well, that's the result that these people want. If they can't get it by going through the interview process and the Rooney Rule.
Who are these people? People.
The coach is filing the lawsuit.
Because so the black NFL coaches and assistants who feel they've been overlooked or passed over.
No, just the specific ones in this lawsuit.
Well, the lawsuit is open. That means they're going to be adding names left. It's class action because they expect quite a few of these coaches to start coming forward, and a number of them already have. The lawsuit states that there are at least 10 that have not been named because Brian Flores is.
Well, if you're a black, half black, 1/4 black, if you're an octoroon and you've done anything in the NFL, sign up to this class action lawsuit because it's gonna.
Why? You'll never get another job. You'll never get.
Please, it's gonna be a giveaway.
Wait a second. So you think that people are just okay? All right. Look, I think that's ridiculous.
Was Brian Flores a good coach?
Brian Flores was a tremendous coach. Yes.
Don't you think if Jerry Jones thought Brian Flores could help him win a Super Bowl, he would hire him immediately, and we would all be on board with that?
I don't know because Jerry Jones is. We've got Mike McCarthy now, and they're already talking about his replacement is going to be either Sean Payton or Dan Quinn. So I don't know.
Yeah, Sean Payton's a maybe. Please don't be Dan Quinn. Please don't be Kellen Moore.
How about Deion Sanders? Huh?
I'd love that.
I would too. I think.
Oh man, isn't he coaching right now?
He is, and he's having a lot of success. Jackson State.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be so fun. Turn
that team around.
So yeah. Please God.
All right. So at least after this debate, you and I can agree that one of the more overlooked aspects of this case would be the integrity of the game issue that's being hurled at Stephen Ross.
I think that is huge. I think that's far more important than the stuff Brian Flores is bringing up about the race stuff. Not that that's not important, and, you know, people feel strongly about that. I get it. But, you know, like, if you're in Vegas, what are you thinking right now? You know, the sports book, or like you mentioned, DraftKings or whatever.
Yeah.
Ooh, boy, there is billions of dollars tied into that, and you cannot screw that up.
The sports books that have been recently allowed to come into the NFL is not just minor advertisers, as major partners.
Billions.
Yes,
billions.
Unbelievable how big this is, especially in, you know, the major cities that currently now have legalized sports betting as far as apps and all that stuff. Yeah. So the growth potential, the income, the money that the NFL is banking on making off of the nationwide, eventually that's where we're going to get the nationwide legalization of sports betting, is untold billions upon billions of dollars. And if for some reason these sports books begin to question the integrity of the bets or the lines that they're putting up, oh my
billions.
God.
Billions.
Oh my goodness. It's going to be, woo. Yeah, that is true.
Oh, hey, and read Deion Sanders' book. It's not long. It's only like 100 pages, but it's pretty. I read it in high school. It was great.
It's only like 100 pages.
It is. It's not very long.
What do you think, I'm a moron? What do you think, I can't handle a book that's actually got some...
You would not want to read 800 pages of Deion Sanders.
All right. Well, we will see what happens here with the Brian Flores class action suit against. I had a whole I wanted to talk about Fritz Pollard. I wanted to talk about the 12-year ban of all African Americans from the NFL. Oh, I had things I wanted to go into, but you're probably right. We probably did it the proper way. Listening to you with your absurd takes on this situation and me try and make sense of it with intellectual curiosity.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Anything else?
Nope. See you tomorrow.
Is that it? All right. There he goes. That's Parker. He is the Parker of the Pugs and Parker pundit show, whatever the hell it is we call this. I'm not even sure. You know, I enjoy my time with Parker, even though we don't agree on a whole lot of things. We have a different worldview. Sometimes I think that he's contrarian for contrarian's sake. Sometimes I think that he just takes, because he's a smart guy. We're not going to agree on everything all the time, and that's okay. I don't need to agree with my friends on everything all the time. I am not that fragile. I don't need to have everything that I believe in be reinforced in the people I surround myself with. But he's wrong. We can all agree on that. We can all agree that he's wrong and I'm right. All right. Hey, guys, thank you so much. Appreciate you joining us here for the Pillow Pundits portion of our podcast. I wish we were podcasting. We're not. We're streaming. The P's would really fall into place there. I'll be back tomorrow at noon for the high noon edition. I'm sure the story will be trending, and I'm sure there'll be more. We'll get into that. That's what we do at high noon every day. All the things that are trending, all the hot topics, all of that good stuff, we cover it. We get you all briefed up for the day ahead so you're not walking around bumping into things going, I don't know what's happening in the world. Support the show. You can do that. I always got to ask that. End of the month, it helps. Tomorrow's Groundhog's Day. We'll see you then. Bye, everybody. I love y'all.